Sonic Racing Crossworlds came out a good few months ago now, and I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't a fan at first. Since its initial reveal at the Game Awards in 2024, I just wasn't bothered. I mean, from the looks of it, it was just another Sonic kart racer. However, upon further inspection, people started to notice that there was extreme gear in the trailer. I mean, okay, that sparked my curiosity a bit, but I still wasn't really excited or anything. But then more of the game kept being shown off, and yeah, extreme gear was back. Okay, that's cool. The Babylon Rogues are back, that's cool too, and even other characters from other Sega IPs. Alright, I'm a bit more intrigued now, but I still wasn't convinced. And I'm pretty sure one of the trailer no, I am definitely sure one of the trailer shots had a T-posing Eggman. And yeah, that didn't exactly leave the best taste in my mouth. Then came the open beta, and I didn't actually play that one. It was PS5 exclusive, so I just didn't bother. But then they did have another one, I think it was a few months later, and I had mixed opinions on it. I had three main problems. The first problem was the item balancing. It was not very good at all. And that kind of bled into the second problem, was that the game was just too visually busy for me. It was pretty hard to tell what was going on half the time. And thirdly, the controls. I just wasn't clicking with them. I suppose because I was so used to Sumo Digital's controls and Mario Kart and other car racers, that going to this one with its much more archaic and jank controls just kind of threw me off a bit. I got used to them kind of eventually, but it still wasn't clicking with me. Overall, the beta was okay, but again, something just wasn't clicking. I just couldn't see where all the hype was coming from. It's okay, it's just not that great. Well, the game finally released to huge praise across the board. It didn't help that Nintendo was constantly shooting themselves in the foot, so a lot of people were considering this to be the best kart racer of the year. Me, however, I was gonna buy it just to try it out, but that price, man, that price well put me off. £60 for the base game, and then like 80 quid for the deluxe edition with all the DLC and stuff. Yeah, I completely lost interest. It's funny because everyone was like angry at the Mario Kart World pricing, and yet nobody seemed to care about this one. I did not see nearly enough rage for this as I did for Mario Kart World. It wasn't until a few weeks ago that I passed my driving test, so I thought, hey, you know, I want to treat myself. And what was sitting there nice and pretty for 40 quid for the Digital Deluxe Edition on CD keys. Yes, I will keep calling it CD keys until I die. Loaded is a terrible name, why did they change it? It was Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Now that's a more reasonable price. So now that I've had the game for a bit, let's see if it's any good. This is my review of Sonic Racing Crossworlds. The game has three main modes. Grand Prix mode, which is, well, take a wild guess. You go through each cup with its own set of courses to crown yourself champion at the end. However, that's where this game differs from other kart racers, with the new Crossworlds feature. Yeah, Crossworlds isn't just for shameless crossovers, but also for this game's defining mechanic. On lap 2, of course, you have the choice, if you're in the lead, to cross over to another world, ranging from areas from past Sonic games to completely new areas. And I gotta say, I really like this mechanic. I wasn't a huge fan at first. I thought the crossworlds were a bit simple in design, but I was wrong. These are actually pretty fun. Okay, some of them are straight lines, but unlike a certain other kart racer that we will not mention again, there's actually stuff going on here. Stuff to avoid, shortcuts and great set pieces. And once you finish the Grand Prix modes, now every course can also end up being a crossworld. They're not terribly common, but it can happen, which is always a nice surprise when it does. Another feature introduced in Grand Prix mode are the rivals. Essentially, each cup you have a random rival to face against, putting up more of a challenge than the average CPU. You can even customize them to be more challenging, which will nab you more tickets if you happen to defeat them. Now, I really enjoy this mechanic, especially for the interactions. Team Sonic Racing had these too, but it was only during the actual race. This game has unique interactions for every character that isn't a DLC character, and honestly, they're all pretty well written and performed, and I quite like these. Except sometimes Shadow, I'm sorry, I'm just not a fan of the direction of him. Might do another video on that, but I'll just say I'm not a fan of the more raspy and kind of annoying take on his character. Which is funny because I think it was great in Shadow Gens, but oh well, it's a kart racer, who cares. The last thing this mode does differently is that the final lap of the cup will consist of a rerun of all three previous courses, and I actually quite like this as it gives players a third go around on these courses. You know, unlike a certain other car race. Okay, I'll stop. But yeah, the Grand Prix mode was pretty fun. The tracks are, for the most part, well designed. A few stinkers in there. I'm really not a fan of the Potos, both its music and its cramped level design. I do really like the Mall level, Radical Highway, and the Superstars level. Oh, and one last thing, you can unlock Supersonic, which is cool, but obviously you can't use him online. I haven't unlocked him myself yet, so I can't really say much. Next up is the Party Tent, or whatever it's called. Now this is where things get a bit different. I haven't played too much of this mode since it's single or local multiplayer only, and apart from being the best way to earn tickets, from what I hear anyway, and to unlock certain vehicles, there's not really much incentive to play this mode over the other modes. It's kind of like this game's battle mode, just not so much battle, but rather standard racing but with a twist, such as working as a team, gathering rings, or beating these AI rivals to acquire the vehicle. Not to unlock the actual AI characters, no, that's saved for a much more convenient method that we'll get into later. Then there's the time trials, which are exactly what they sound like, but with a twist. It's not really a big twist, but all it is that you don't start off with free speed items, instead you find them throughout the course. And I really don't like this because the game doesn't exactly have the most smooth and precise controls. So when I'm speedrunning these courses and now I have to awkwardly aim my character into the item box, it does get a bit annoying. Especially if it's on a wider turn and you miss, which just wastes time and you might as well restart. And yes, I said restart because some of these time requirements are strict as hell. I haven't done all of them yet, and it might be easier on the slower speed. I am doing this on the highest speed at the moment, and sometimes they're generous, but other times they're really precise. I don't even know how you're supposed to get S ranks because here I am barely scraping A ranks. The A ranks are required for 100% completion, but hey, at least you get some music tracks, I guess. Speaking of music, that's unfortunately one of the game's downfalls. There's some really good tracks here, but I'm just going to be honest, I can't remember most of these. They suit the game fine enough for what they are, but man, after the absolute greatness that is Team Sonic Racing's soundtrack, or even the Sumo Digital Games and Sonic Riders soundtracks, this is just kind of a huge letdown. Just listen to these two tracks for a bit and tell me which one's better. Then there's the jukebox, which is another fumble. You can only play full albums to a specific lap, but that goes for every track. So if you wanted, say, a certain song for only a certain stage, well, sorry, but that song you chose is going to play on every stage on that specific lap. But again, the music isn't terrible, just not the best. Man, Sonic Forces really did a number on this series' soundtrack, huh? The visuals for Sonic Racing Crossworlds are pretty good too. Nice colours and set pieces. It's not a graphical leap or anything, but in this day and age, I'm honestly kind of glad. In a world where I need a NASA computer just to run a bloody Lego Batman game, it's a nice welcome. The fact that this game runs as well as it does on Unreal Engine 5 is truly a testament to how well this game is optimized, and it's only 16GB too. Now let's talk about what was my original worry about this game, and that is the controls. The controls are very archaic. Depending on the character and vehicle you choose, it can make all the difference in how this game plays. I personally go for handling characters because, as I just said, this game definitely has a more archaic feeling to it. It's not as smooth as the Sumo Digital games, as this one was made in-house by Sonic Team. It definitely has that Sega learning curve. At first it feels like ass, but when you get the hang of it, it's actually pretty damn fun. Again, it's not my ideal controlling kart racer. I still prefer the more realistic smoothness of Transformed and Team Sonic Racing, but I suppose in a way this creates variety. I love messing around to get a kart just to your liking, and you can do just that with the game's new feature, the gadgets. As you progress through the game, you unlock gadgets, which can be applied to your vehicle to do a number of things. These things include better stats, item buffs, defense, faster tricks, more rings, etc. I personally went for this build for general racing and this build for time trials. I thought it'd be an overwhelming mechanic at first, but I gotta say it's dead simple, so don't worry, it's nothing too deep and complicated, but also not exactly shallow and pointless either. It's a great addition. Since we're talking about unlockables, let's talk about those tickets. You earn these by doing a plethora of racing. You can spend these on decals, car parts, horns, and friendships. Now, the required amount of tickets you need to buy these things can range from reasonable to why does a horn cost this much. The absolute worst is the friendship stuff. Essentially, you get character themed goodies from giving your tickets to certain characters. But man, do these cost an absolute arm and a leg. And let's get this clear, tickets aren't exactly handed out generously. They're quite the grind, so when the game asks for an absurd amount of them, I just roll my eyes and hope this gets sorted in a patch or something. For the time being, I'm just leveling them up until I get the character's AI skin, and then stopping. Yeah, that's what I was referring to earlier. The only way to get the AI skins is through this friendship method. Because how else am I going to unlock my definitely not modded in chaos? Because he sure as hell ain't in the base game. Suppose now we should talk about the DLC, which I wish didn't exist. It's not bad DLC or anything, but announcing this before the game release definitely wasn't the best move. At least in my eyes, it kind of turned me off the game. But anyway, there's two sets of DLC here. Free DLC including Sega characters, and paid DLC including characters from another series. Pac-Man, Mega Man, Steve, but also SpongeBob, the Ninja Turtles, and Avatar. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this just doesn't sit right with me. I like the game related characters, but these other characters, I don't hate them. Like, I like SpongeBob and all, but in a Sonic racing game, I would have much preferred actual game characters, or even more Sonic characters. There's no Tikol, Chaos, Mephiles, Doom, Infinite, Styx, etc. There's a couple of IDW characters coming, which is nice, but come on, stop including the Teletubbies in every bloody game. Nobody likes them. Please, Sega, stop trying to make the Deadly Six a thing. Though I suppose there's that one kid that likes them, so I guess someone's happy. The DLC tracks, though, are pretty fun. No complaints there, but the SpongeBob one looks like a goddamn Roblox map. Why does it look so cheap? Lastly, there's the online, and so far for me, it's been a decent experience. The servers aren't the best, you will get disconnected every now and then, but it's still decently populated at the moment, and takes about 2 or 3 minutes to get into a lobby and get playing. I would talk about the festivals they do for upcoming characters, but I've never played on them, so sorry I can't really say anything on that end. Just know that you play races in specific conditions, kind of like the party tent, to unlock certain goodies in a battle pass style format. But unfortunately, like say Splatfest for example, if you've ever played them, you can't play any standard racing, but I do wish you could play the 10 games online when there's no festival, but oh well. Anyway, that's pretty much everything. Now, what do I think of the game overall? It's actually a really good time. It's very addicting, that's for sure. It's nice just to be able to jump in, play a few races, and hop off. You know, unlike Mario Kart World. Now, is it the best kart racer released last year? I still need time to think about that, but regardless, if you fancy a more traditional arcade-like kart racer, then you'll definitely have a good time on your hands. Just make sure you get it on a sale. I got this on the Steam Deck and it runs really well. I would have recorded my own gameplay, but not only would it not be in 1080p, it'd be in that awkward 800p or whatever the Steam Deck's in, but my game currently looks like this. The modding scene is great though, so I do recommend you get the PC version if you can. You don't even need like a brilliant PC to run it, as I said earlier, the game's pretty well optimized. But yeah, that's going to be it for my review of Sonic Racing Crossworlds. What do you think of the game? Did you like it or didn't you like it? I also tried to make this video a bit longer, because I don't know if like people prefer the longer videos or the shorter ones. My views are kind of all over the place. So I thought, you know what, this one, I don't like waffling. Alright, like, I hate watching other YouTubers because so many of them just waffle so much. Like, they go through the history of the game and then they just randomly bring up their politics and stuff, and it's like, what are you on about, bro? But, you know, I do try not to waffle. I feel like everything I said in this video had relevance. So I hope I didn't waste your time. I mean, I'm saying this video's only probably going to be like 8 minutes or something. But, you know, let me know in the comments below. Do you prefer longer reviews or shorter reviews? And yeah, I'll see you next time.